When you're waiving inspections, are you waiving everything? Find out next on Tom's Take. You're definitely going to want to watch this one. We are in a time when buyers are waiving home inspections, wood infestation tests, radon tests, all the elected contingencies more than ever, because that's what's needed to secure the home in a lot of cases. And most of those people are happy because they're getting the home that they want. They're moving their family into a great situation. So it makes sense, and the market dictates these actions. What we found, and what our past clients have found, is that the parties in the transaction, they don't understand the other inspections that are involved and that you can't waive. And there's two of them specifically that could come up that will affect how the transaction goes. So the first one is with an FHA or a VA lender typically, but sometimes a conventional loan can do this too, and you have to go to paragraph 8G in the contract, in the standard agreement of sale in Pennsylvania, where it talks about required repairs by a lender or by an insurer. And that's a really important thing because in some cases, if a roof was replaced or there was a hailstorm in the past, which we had a lot of in our marketplace a few years ago, the insurer is requiring things be done to the home. The mortgage company can also do that. Typically, that's something you see with VA or FHA loans. And what paragraph 8G says specifically, and I'm going to read it to you here so you understand exactly what we're talking about, it's that if the mortgage lender or a property or casualty insurer providing insurance required by the lender, because usually you need an insurance policy to get your loan funded, requires repairs to the properties, the buyer, all they have to do is deliver that report to the seller, and they have 5 days to do it. And the seller has the option of making the required repairs as acceptable by the lender or the insurer. Or if they don't, then there's some language that says the buyer can decide to move ahead or they can walk away from the transaction. The facts here are that if there's a lender required repair and the seller fixes it, as long as the lender or insurer signs off, the buyer's obligated to move ahead in paragraph 8G. There's no out for them in the agreement of sale. And we have the same sort of timeline and same sort of situation in paragraph 15, which talks about municipal requirements. So use and occupancy inspections by the township or the borough, or violations in the city of Philadelphia, because every process is a little different depending on where you are. If the seller complies based on what the municipality calls for, so the city, the borough, the township, the buyer's obligated to move ahead. So what I want to be clear on here is a lot of buyers feel like they have a say in how the repair gets done. And that is not the case. If you look at these contracts here specifically, and this has been verified by the PAR legal hotline, that if the repairs are acceptable to the lender or insurer, and the repairs are acceptable to the township, borough, or municipality, then the buyer's obligated to move ahead. What a lot of buyers think is they can just walk away if they don't like the repair. They can walk away if they don't like what happens. That's not what the contract says here. So all the buyers that are out there, if you're waiving your inspections, understand that there's other things that may happen, especially if it's an FHA or a VA loan. Sometimes conventional lenders will require this. Or if you're in a township, borough, or the city of Philadelphia that has some sort of use and occupancy process, it's not up to you to decide if you like the repair. It's up to the lender or the insurer, and it's up to the municipality. That's what the contract says. Now, if you feel differently, that's where you really need to get legal advice. Again, we've talked to the PAR legal hotline. We have that resource for a reason. That's the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors legal hotline. And that is what they are telling us here, is that it's up to the governing body, not the buyer. Now, if the seller doesn't do it, that's a different story. You can get out. I want to be really clear on this because a lot of people don't read the contracts or don't understand exactly what's said. And if the seller opts not to do it, then they've got a disclosure issue. And they have to tell everyone, hey, here's the issues based on what XYZ borough or ABC township told us. So knowing this, be wary of the requirements going in. This is a question you should be asking your realtor. Is a use and occupancy required? And that should go for a buyer and a seller. Obviously, the lender required repairs, the insurer required repairs are a little different. That depends on the type of financing. Ask your agent if a use and occupancy is required. And a lot of times you can literally Google the municipality and they will tell you what they look for in these inspections. And not every township and borough has one. it could be varied. Delaware County tends to have a little more. Some parts of Montgomery County do, some don't. Chester County's hit or miss, so it really depends. The point is, get informed, understand what your rights are, and read the contract. Because these things are coming up more and more as folks waive inspections, since usually the use and occupancy issues are picked up during the inspection process. Any questions, you got concerns, you want to reach out, you know where to reach us. Otherwise, we'll keep them coming. See you next week. You're definitely going to want to watch this one.